All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my review. I'm going to be doing a review on Boys Will Be Boys. I've not been on YouTube in a while. Uh, actually had a business. Well, I still have a business, but due to some technical difficulties, I am unable to actually run my business the way that I see fit right now. So the only thing that is left for me to do is to do what I do best, aside from running my business, is to talk about social issues. And so I should be able to make videos and upload videos to my YouTube in the meantime until I can try to get my business going. But I have not been on YouTube in a while, as you can probably see once you watch this video and you see some of my other videos. You'll see that I have not been uploading, but I guess all of that is about to change. So yeah, I've got to stay busy. I've got to continue to give back and do what I can do to better serve my community, and because I am interested in all things to do with women and relationships that we have with men and the people in our lives and the way that society is going, then I figure what better way to stay busy than to do a book review on Boys Will Be Boys. And I actually used to have a book called Boys Will Be Boys. So this is not the same book that I did have. My book was yellow. I was not able to find this on Amazon, but I did find Clementine Ford's book, Boys Will Be Boys, Power, Patriarchy, and Toxic Masculinity. So this book, I did read so far the introduction, and I will read some of that to you uh, as we go through this. But Boys Will Be Boys is written by Clementine Ford or Clementine Ford. She's also the author of Fight Like a Girl. Again, she's also the author of Fight Like a Girl, and if you will, I will actually begin to read some of the introduction. And before I do that, let me explain to you as well why uh, I chose to do this book review and also what this book is about. So, in the previous slide, we saw that it's basically about um, power, patriarchy, and toxic masculinity. So, those words are full of, you know, power, patriarchy, and toxic masculinity. So, I'm sure that's a lot comes to your mind when you hear power, when you have patriarchy and toxic masculinity, and all three of them actually work hand in hand, as you will see once we start our book review. I chose again, and I let me reiterate it why I chose to do a book review on this particular book, because I am definitely wholeheartedly, my whole life has been interested in women, our plight, our struggles, and the massive abuse that is at epidemic proportions in the society that harm women and their children. And I know the Me Too movement was really popular, has been, where I think it's what 95, 97% of women who have been assaulted in some form throughout their lifetimes. Um, you know, if that many women have been assaulted, there are no men who are raising their hands saying, "Hey, I was the one to do that." It's basically us women out here marching in the streets, demanding justice, demanding a change, and men are just basically holding their heads down with their tails between their legs. Don't look at me, don't look at me. Either it wasn't them, and they don't know anybody who it was, right? So there's like a huge problem here that we're gonna get into. So yeah, I chose this book because I like how she presents this topic. And so this book is about us coming to, waking up to the reality of what's happening around us. Because if you're an adult female, chances are you have been assaulted, essayed at some point in your life. And if you have little girls and little boys, if you have babies, the risk is high for them. So, um, you know, and at the end of the day, a lot of women, unfortunately, end up marrying a monster. And they don't even know it until it's too late, till they've had children by this monster. And then the monster has easy access to their children, which is another whole nother monster when your babies are being abused by the man who claimed to have loved you. So, yeah, let's get into this. The beginning introduction. This particular video will probably not. I probably won't finish the introduction, but we'll start it, and then we'll um we'll catch up in the next video. So let's see what we stop. But we'll start here. So this is a book about patriarchy, gendered oppression, and toxic masculinity. So a book about how gender inequality and the specific kind of violence meted out to women is maintained because all three of these things work together to keep structures in place that are harmful to everyone, but more superficially beneficial than not to men. So let me just reread that. It's a book about how gender inequality and the specific kind of violence meted out to women is maintained because all three of these things work together to keep structures in place that are harmful to everyone, but more superficially beneficial than not to men. It is not a book about how men are shit. It's a book about how the systems we live in allow men to get away with doing deeply shitty things. A month before I published my first book, Fight Like a Girl, I faced one of my toughest challenges yet as a feminist. I became the mother of a boy. I often hear from parents that they're frightened of having girls in this world. We know what violence can be done to our daughters, and people on the whole seem desperate to find a solution to this. Curiosity, 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 curiously, sorry, um, this search for solutions has yet to include looking at ways to change the behavior of boys instead. Instead, we see general pleas to recognize the humanity of girls and women by positioning them in relation to men. So let me reread that. Um, I've written this down, and so some of my writing is hard to read. Okay, so curiously, this search for solutions has yet to include looking at ways to change the behavior of boys. Instead, we see general pleas to recognize the humanity of girls and women by positioning them in relation to men. She's somebody's daughter, sister, mother, wife, so you must treat her with the reverence with which you treat your own daughter, sister, mother, wives. But who is he, the shadow man, thought to be responsible for all this harm? Is he a mythical creature who hides in the cracks of alley walls, emerging only to wreak havoc on the women who will later be considered naive and foolish for failing to take their own safety seriously? Is he a monster, a lover, a basement dweller, getting his kicks out of harassing women on the internet because he's never talked to one in his entire life? A sexual deviant, a criminal, a sadist? In some cases, yes. Okay, except for the bit about living in the walls. But in the vast majority of cases, no. These shadow men live very much in the daylight. And just like the women they victimize, hurt, belittle, betray, and wield power over, they also have familiar connections. They are probably somebody's brother, father, or husband. They are more than likely somebody's colleague, teammate, friend. In every single case, they are somebody's son. Again, in every single case, in case you didn't hear me, they are somebody's son. Now, I know my allergies get the best of me, but I wanted to make sure you heard that last part. In every single case, they are somebody's son. We are somebody's daughter, and they are somebody's son. So how is it that we women are growing up having these experiences of being abused, sometimes over and over, and we develop complex post-traumatic stress disorder? Why are we women the ones who are out here talking about this, about the shame, the guilt, the humiliation that we feel because our father could not keep his hands off of us, or because our uncle or our brother or our cousin or the next door neighbor or our date who we trusted or a friend who we trusted? Why are we having to go to college and be drugged by guys because we decided to go to a rugby party or a soccer party or football party? Why is it always our fault when we are attacked and abused and raped? Why does the blame get shifted to us? Why are we scapegoated? This is because, people, because I finished the book at the part where it says in every single case they are somebody's son. I finished the introduction right there. We'll pick up on the next video, but I finished right there. So all of everything that came after that is, these are my words. These are not Clementine Ford's words. But I am talking from the heart as a female, as a woman who has been a part of the 97%. Why do we live in a society that scapegoats women, that do not do the proper investigations, that doesn't think this is important, this type of crime is important enough to pursue and to imprison men who do these horrible things? And they have just upped the ante to me. I mean, we're living in different times now. They're not running around looking for women to rape and assault. They're looking for children now. It's like they I mean, I it's become so horrific, and we have the cases, that are in the news that we've heard about, like the Epstein case and some others, the Weinstein, and we hear about the Cosby and all that stuff, and we're looking, and these are just high profile people, but can you imagine the ordinary people in ordinary life, living their lives next door to you? I mean, what they're doing to their children or other people's children. I mean, the rituals that people are talking about, the satanic rituals, these things are real. They're happening, but you know, the children are not to be believed, right? I mean, all these priests for hundreds of years, what they did to these children, and yet people still give their money to the Catholic Church. And we know that Satan is sitting up there getting rich, fat, and using and abusing our children. I mean, wake up, people. What kind of world are we living in? I mean, are we in disbelief so much that we just don't believe anymore? I mean, is it just fabrication on the kids' part? I mean, is it just blown out of proportion? Something has got to give. There's Women are an endangered gender. I would just say endangered species. I mean, we are our lives are in danger every freaking day in this country, the greatest country in the world, right? But yet we're not free like they would want you to believe we are. So yeah, so this is where we're gonna go here with this channel. This is what we're gonna talk about since I can't do my e-commerce the way I wanted to do. I've been forced into a corner. Maybe this is what I need to talk about. Because there are a lot of people, a lot of women out here hurting, and there are a lot of men who are hurting as well. But they hurt by hurting other people. And us women, we hurt ourselves. And we oftentimes don't speak up. We lose our voice as a continuation of that hurt. Because we don't believe anybody wants to hear us. We don't believe anybody will believe us. But there's so many of us who are disconnected from each other. And if we could just unite together, like we did on the Me Too movement, and if we could continue to fight this fight, just like Black Lives Matters, Me Too. I mean, it matters. Me Too matter. You matter. We all matter. And nothing's going to change unless we hold these people accountable for their devilish deeds. And so, you know, I should have done this a long time ago, but I see the seriousness of of this, of, of this, not only movement, but of this issue. It's huge. And I think Epstein and that Maxwell lady, they, they're just the tip of the iceberg. They're just showing us what so many people are connected to and what they're doing. And I'm not saying that we're going to find out all these people tomorrow and that these people are going to go to jail and be punished, because you know what? There's some very elite people involved in this shit. And then there's legislators, judges, police officers, DAs, all kinds of people who are protecting uh, themselves and others that they know are involved in some horrible, horrible corruption that it would make your head explode. So anyway, I've seen some things. Obviously, you could probably tell. I won't be able to obviously say names and directly point out those situations, but I can tell you this: this is hell. This is hell. If you're looking out from with outside of yourself into this world and how it operates, you think we live in a true democracy, you're mistaken. You think you have freedoms, you're mistaken. You think things are fair and equal amongst the sexes, you're mistaken. This is not the world that they had you believe in, you and I believe in growing up, that we were somehow, land of the free, home of the brave. This is a toxic society, toxic family that, I don't know if I can say the word on YouTube, but that rapes its own, tortures its own, abuses its own, and then scapegoats their own family members because they are a bunch of narcissistic, soulless MFers who are pleasure seeking people and will exploit, dehumanize, demean, and belittle anybody in their path so that they can get their rocks off, get their money, get their power, because they're greedy and they're soulless and they don't give a shit. So yes, let's dive into this review here. Let's talk about these things. Let's give you a safe place, a safe space on the internet to talk about and share in the comments below, if you will, what this means to you and how this impacts your life as a female, as a male who loves women. Because when a female has been damaged emotionally, psychologically, mentally, physically, that damage, that brokenness, that trauma will touch everybody in her life, including her children. It's a ripple effect. So the trauma doesn't just stop when her trauma ends. It continues. And the help, the therapy that she'll need, the help she'll need along the way, will continue for a lifetime. So, anyways, that's the first video on our book review of Boys Will Be Boys. And I'm gonna go ahead and we'll finish up here, and I will see you in the next upload. And until then, stay safe out there, women. Love yourself. Have your respect your boundaries, and make sure others respect your boundaries as well. I'll talk to you, my friends, in the next video. Signing out.